was born on 12 December 19. Right. 12 December 1905. He was born in Peshawar, now in Pakistan, and died. I think why echo is going on. Anyway, okay. Please, would you mute your mic, all of you, please. Please mute your mic so that this echo cannot take place. Mulkraj Anand as one of the great writers of India, and as far as the Indian English is concerned, he is supposed to be the pioneer of Indian English novel. He was born on 12 December 1905 in Peshawar, now in Pakistan. Died recently in 2004, 28 September 2004 in Pune, India. An outstanding Indian writer in English, famous for his depiction of lives of the poor castes in traditional Indian society. And Charles Dickens, who is the father of English novel, Charles Dickens. Next to Charles Dickens, actually in India, as far as India is concerned, we consider Anand as the Dickens of India. Okay, we consider Kalidas as Shakespeare of India. In the same way, we consider Mulkraj Anand as Dickens of India, because as Dickens portrays English society, particularly the Victorian society in England, in the same way, Mulkraj Anand depicts, portrays the same horrible picture of Indian mass, particularly Dalits and the downtrodden castes. Right. And for this, actually, very often critics consider Mulkraj Anand as Dickens of India. He began his writing with T.S. Eliot, the great critics and poet. He began his writing in his Criterion, T.S. Eliot. He began his Criterion literary magazine, literary journal, and in this journal, Mulkraj Anand also worked for some years. Okay, he stayed in England for some years, worked with T.S. Eliot. Also, he passed some of the years in teaching in some foreign universities. And as far as his writings are concerned, Untouchable, which was published in 1935, is one of the outstanding novels. Though initially this novel could not have been published, and many publishers. Okay, would you please mute your mic? I think some of you have not muted your mic. As a result, echo is coming. Would you please mute? You see how many of you have not muted your mic? Disturbance is taking place. Yes, means somebody means she has not muted her mic. Would you please mute your mic? Hello. Yes, so somebody means. Are you getting me? You please mute your mic. Dear learner means, are you getting me? You please mute your mic, otherwise disturbance is taking place. Okay, thank you. Now you come to Mulkraj Anand and the background of Untouchable. There is a background behind the publication of this great novel, Untouchable. Untouchable initially, actually, it could not found a suitable publisher. Anand's writing, this writing of Untouchable, was rejected again and again. And I think it is described in your IGNO material as I was going through. And Anand, out of frustration, Anand was about to commit suicide. But fortunately, he found a publisher afterwards. And in 1935, this novel got published. Right. Another important fact as far as this Untouchable is concerned, it was based on Gandhi's life and teachings. Gandhi's philosophy of life, and influence of Gandhi had an impact on Mulkraj Anand, and he liked to show his novel, his manuscript to Gandhi, and Gandhi was also he was interested to hear from Anand, and he went to Sabarmati, and he wanted to hear him his novel, his story. And when Gandhi had it, Gandhi was not initially he did not like it because the way um Mulkraj Anand portrayed Bakha, the protagonist of this novel, Gandhi did not like it. Gandhi wanted some changes, and accordingly, more than 200 pages. Um, this novel, it was reduced to about 100 pages. Okay, so many pages Gandhi rejected, and accordingly, and also it is also a known fact that Mulkraj Anand stayed with Gandhi about 3 months. Okay, when Gandhi rejected some of the pages, some of the descriptions, Gandhi stayed with him, consulted him, and as per his advice, Gandhi changed this whole description, and he also led a Gandhian life. Um, he also involved himself in cleaning process, cleaning the latrines, and doing all manual jobs. In Gandhi's ashram, whoever were going, they had to work. Otherwise, uh, it was the rule of Gandhi that anybody who comes, maybe from India or from abroad, however may be the position. Okay, so he has to work some of the manual jobs. Then he can stay there. He could stay there, and accordingly, Mulkraj Anand stayed and produced this novel after changing whatever Gandhi wanted. So now you come to the stories of the novel. Why this novel is so important? And before I go to the story, let me light upon some of the facts that it is a Gandhian novel, and Gandhian novel is uh, after independence, particularly after independence, some writers like Raja Rao, your Raja Rao Kantapura, which is also, I think it is there in your course, and R.K. Narayan's Waiting for Mahatma, right? And this Mulkurajan's Untouchable. These three novels, actually, they were completely these three novels and these three writers. They are also very often considered as trio of Indian English novel or Indian English fiction. And these three writers were highly influenced by Mahatma Gandhi's life and teachings, and accordingly, they produced their fiction, making Gandhi as a character sometimes hidden, um, sometimes actually appeared in the novel as a character, and other writers are there. For example, your Midnight Children's, which is there in your course, uh, that is, and other writers are there, Rusdi and others. They have not to, they were no doubt influenced, but actually did not highlight Gandhi's character. They did not appreciate the Gandhi's influence. Rather, they criticized Gandhi. Some authors, some Indian authors, they also criticized Gandhi. They made Gandhi as a joke, and also they wanted that Gandhism should change in 21st century or 20th century. But these three writers, as I've said, as I've mentioned, these three writers, they were Gandhian followers, and they led the life of Gandhi. They liked Gandhi's lifestyle and his way of life, simple living and high thinking. At the same time, they also practiced Gandhian ideals. At the same time, whatever they wrote, they also uh, reflected Gandhian spirit in their novels. So now you come to the story. As far as Mulkraj Anand is concerned, Mulkraj Anand actually he received some awards like Padma Bhushan, okay, Sahitya Academy Award for the Morning Face, which actually he produced in 1968, and he was awarded Sahitya Academy Award and also received Padma Bhushan. And he is not only a fiction writer but also a story writer, a great story writer. I think I have recorded some of the uh, story anthologies, seven anthologies of his story. Okay. And I'm not going to discuss all these things. Rather, I would focus on this untouchable. Another important question very often comes and it arises in the minds of readers that why this the title of the this novel that is untouchable, why the title did not become, why Anand did not choose another title which probably it would have been appropriate. Why instead of the untouchable, why Anand chose uh, untouchable? Why he did not use the in the beginning? And the answer is very obvious. The answer is that he did not want to make it specific. You know, in grammar, the is a definite article where you use the, you make something specific, unique, but he did not want to make it specific. Rather, he wanted that this is a general uh, this is a general fact. This is a universal fact in India that not only one Bakha in this novel, he suffered a lot because of his caste. At the same time, this is an all Indian fact. This is a common fact in India that whoever takes birth in lower caste, he has to suffer. So that is something very important as far as this novel is concerned. And let us go to some of the important characters. I think, I hope some of you have read it. Some of the important characters, let me point out. As I have mentioned, Bakha. Bakha is undoubtedly one of the strongest individual. He is the protagonist of this novel. Okay, he is the hero of this novel. Bakha is symbolic character in Indian English fiction, but Anand's strength is the art of characterization also lies in the fact that the other characters in the Untouchable complement and highlight not only the structural role of the hero but also functional uh, in this novel. So Bakha is the main character. However, other characters they are complement to Bakha because they make Bakha a great character, a great person, or a great personality. Right. The greatness of Bakha lies in uh, how he faces and how he bears the trouble of caste in the midst of some high caste characters. Then the next character is Bakha's father Lakha is there. Bakha's father Lakha, who accepts casteism, who accepts caste uh, caste course, you can say, the course of uh, getting birth in a low caste very silently, and also very often in the novel, if you read the novel, he he doesn't show any reaction against the high caste people. Rather, he accepts in a traditional way, okay, this is my fate that I got into a Dalit caste and I have no problem to bear the torture of the high caste people or the high caste individuals. And another character is also there, Lakha's younger son or Bakha's younger brother Rakha is there, who also in the same way, like his father, he also doesn't react in the novel. But Bakha reacts in a unique way, and that makes him the protagonist of this novel. So another character is Sohini. Sohini is his Bakha's sister, and she's very beautiful, very charming girl. And through Sohini, Anand shows the hypocrisy of the high caste individuals, high caste characters, and high caste people. How actually they believe in touch me not practice in India. They believe in untouchability, and at the same time, when they find a suitable, a beautiful girl, a charming girl, uh, they uh, they are unable to resist their temptation, their sensual temptation. They don't hesitate to go for molestation and rape. So uh, this has been very sarcastically, very harshly criticized um, by Anand in taking one of the high caste character, that is Pandit Kalinath. Pandit Kalinath is the other important character through which Anand shows his anger against casteism in India. He is a functional character with whose help Anand puts to satire and ridicule the hypocrisy and cruelty of conventional religion. Conventional religion, I think you understand. Conventional religion means the way we perceive religion, we accept religion. That means after getting birth in a high caste society, in a high caste community, forever one becomes great. From the birth to death, he becomes great, even though the raw nature, the animal nature of that individual doesn't change. Still, one enjoys the high position in society and also goes on showing her caste ego and enjoys the caste rights and overpowers with others. Uh, this is something important through which Anand is showing her anger. Another important character is Charat Singh, CHRAT Charat Singh. We meet a generous-minded caste Hindu who stands in full contrast to the hypocritical priest. That means here is a generous man. Here is he's a kind-hearted man who shows sympathy to Baka. He's not like other high caste individual high caste character who shows their ego, their caste anger, and accordingly they victimize the low caste people like Baka. But here is a character who shows sympathy to. He's a Habildar in the army and is famous player of the 30th Dogra Regiment. He has a high sense of humor and mentions his piles to Baka. So through this character, actually, Anand shows that many high caste people are there in India. Actually, they are also reformist. They don't believe in the caste. They are kind-hearted people. They believe in equality. There is another important character who he is also a key character to expose Hinduism, and this character is Colonel Hutchinson. Colonel Hutchinson, Colonel Colonel Hutchinson, Hutchinson. Colonel Hutchinson um, is a character. Is a character in this novel. He is the chief of this Salvation Army. He has been drawn in the comic spirit of caricature. And he is doing what? He is converting the low caste people into Christianity. He belongs to the Salvation Army. You know, in the history of Christianity, the Salvation Army not only it was working in India, but also it was working in African states, in African nations, where actually the heart of the darkness, there is a novel. I think you might have read. I think it is there in your course, a novel by Joseph Conrad. So there also you find this Salvation Army, and that is what is the belief of this Salvation Army? There is a superior complexity of the Europeans, particularly the Christians, that Christians are for the salvation of others. Okay, and they are wherever they would go in the colonial India and other countries, backward countries or third world countries like Africa, wherever actually they went, the British, the Christians they went, they started converting the people, and thereby they showed their supremacy, their sense of belonging to a high culture, okay, a superior culture, that the Christians, they are for the salvation of others. Unless and until the non-believers, the non-Christians are converted, they cannot be saved. For the salvation of these people, these poor and downtrodden people, black people, they have to be converted into Christianity. Otherwise, their soul would go to hell. So this was the belief according which they propagated this idea, and accordingly they converted many people. And here particularly they targeted the backward people, the lower caste people in India. They also targeted the these actually Dalits, tribals. Okay, and they said that. And you see in this novel, actually, Colonel Hutchinson is saying to Baka that instead of suffering in Hinduism, instead of accepting their torture, caste torture, better you should convert into Christianity, and there you can get rid of their caste tyranny. There is another important character, Iqbal Nath Sarsar, IQBALNATH, Iqbalnath Sarsar, SARASHR. Iqbalnath Sarsar, he is a young poet, a young man. He is a revolutionary social reformer who has a progressive outlook and seems to be a sort of the mouthpiece of the novelist, offering the introduction of the plus system. So he actually in here in this at this character, actually in the voice of this character, Iqbal Nath Sarsar, the novel is concluded with a apparent solution, not final solution. You see, a piece of literature never gives any solution, direct solution or a clear solution. If it happens, then actually that story doesn't become a good story. So, as I mentioned in my MEG class, a good piece of literature never gives any direct solution, never prescribes anything that directly. It is implied. Actually, a good piece of literature, or actually in symbolically or in a different way, something is implied, something is not stated here. Anand is not prescribing something as solution, rather it is implied that whatever Iqbalnath Sarsar says as a young poet to Baka, so that is very, very important. Perhaps this may be a solution towards the caste problem in India. So what does he say? That is the part of the story, and let me tell you. He says that Baka, you would stop working this manual job, a very nasty or dirty job, that you are cleaning the latrines, you are cleaning the human, etc. And you thereby actually you are inviting the hatred of the high caste people. So better you stop this dirty job, and thereby actually you can get rid of from this. That means you change your profession, you change your vocation, you change this what this traditional job, that is the job that has been inherited from your ancestors, that being a Dalit individual in a community, in a low caste community, sweeper community. So you have been doing, your forefathers they did it, and you also you have been doing it, and your future generation they will also be doing the same dirty job, and as a result this casteism cannot be abolished. So better you stop it and you take another job, so that you cannot clean these dirty things. So here actually he is offering a solution. What is the solution? That there is a plus system which has been introduced in Europe and India. In India also, some people they have accepted, and very shortly the British government is introducing this plus system. That means machine instead of man. Machine will work to clean these dirty matters or these dirty things, right? So you stop it so that you can get rid of this caste problem. And this is something. This is actually, these are some of the characters, important characters, which I have already discussed. Let us go to the main objective of this novel, uh, the main theme of the novel. And obviously, the title suggests that untouchable means the untouchable brings a lot of connotations in India, and it is particularly the Dalit problem that all of us we know, and particularly in pre-independent India, this problem had got no solution. Whoever actually traditionally Hindu religion, there is a belief though it is not written in a straightforward way. Directly it is not written in Hinduism, in no text, in no religious text, that whoever takes birth in high caste, he will be remain in high caste forever, or whoever takes birth in low caste, he will be a low caste person forever. It is nowhere it is written, but actually people they practice it. As a result, what happened? Casteism occurs in India, and this is one of the greatest drawback of Indian society. As a result, actually, we find a broken India, a cracking India. We find a divided India in this novel. As if Indian society has been divided into castes, into different communities, sects. So as a result, it is Gandhi felt when Gandhi came from South Africa, he felt that it is impossible to get freedom unless and until we work for the salvation or for the freedom of these low caste people or Dalits, what he called Harijan. All of you know, this word Harijan means God's people, people belonging to God's family. So he thereby actually he showed his highest respect for these Dalit people or the people from the low caste. But still, the high caste people they did not accept it. Though there has been some changes, there has been a change in attitude of the during the freedom struggle. But even after independence, the problem remained as a problem, as if there is no solution. As Ambedkar, it is better to take his name when we discuss Dalit problem, because without taking Ambedkar's name, we would commit a mistake that nothing has happened in India. Though this problem remained as a problem, this Dalit plight became one of the greatest drawback of Indian society, both after the birth of Ambedkar and when he uh, uh, went to foreign country for his education, for his PhD, and when he came back to India, he also faced the same problem. People did not accept, but after independence, Gandhi and Nehru actually they considered that Ambedkar is the right person to head the Constituent Assembly, and accordingly he became the chairperson of the drafting committee of the India's constitution, and he made some provisions to get rid of this problem. But still, because of some political reasons, the problem remains the same in the same way. Rather, it is now getting multiplied. It is expanding day by day. It is exploding and expanding day by day because of some political reasons. That is not our concern. But the problem is that Anand and Mulkraj Anand and R.K. Narayan and Raja Rao, these writers, they try to reflect this issue in their creative writings so that there can be a change, so that there can be a kind of consciousness can be created in the Indian masses, so that actually this problem can be addressed. So any piece of literature, as we consider that literature is the mouthpiece of a nation. Literature is a social document, and particularly fiction. Fiction as a social document. Every story tells the story of a country, of a society, and that there lies the greatness of the writer as a socially committed writer. The writer has got a social commitment, and thereby he brings some problems, some stories. He builds some characters, and through these characters, he tries to bring reformation in the society. And here, like Dickinson in Europe, in England, Anand is doing the same thing. He is taking the role of a social reformer, as you see that bringing the story. I hope you know the story how this Dalit boy uh, is facing this caste problem, facing this caste tyranny in his society, and how um, uh, getting several insults, several uh, times tortures of the high caste people, how uh, to get rid of this problem, how he is meeting many people in his community, the Christians, the Muslims, also Muslim characters are there, where he is getting sympathy. Bakha is getting sympathy in some of the non-Hindu characters. The non-Hindu characters like a Muslim and a Christian, actually they are showing sympathy. They don't have any caste discrimination, whereas only the Hindus they have this problem. That is why he was actually, though many people uh, they try to they tried to convert Bakha, but Bakha was not in favor of conversion. His father was also has also been tempted by some of the Christians from the Salvation Army, but he also said the same thing. I would rather accept my ancestors' religion. So here actually Anand is commenting this fact that no religion is good or bad. Problem doesn't lie in any religion, rather it lies with the practitioners, with the followers of a religion who misinterprets the text, who misinterprets, misunderstands the religious fact, and instead of practicing the true religion, what is there in that text, uh, they practice orthodoxy. They practice um, the wrong side of religion. Okay. Uh, Now you come to uh, uh, another important some of the themes that I have already noted. These are some of the important themes in this novel. The themes are: Untouchable gives a microcosmic vision of India. That means, particularly, an divided society, or a divided society, a split society, uh, a very marginalized society that India gives to this world. As a result, in internal the before the eye of the world, that India is defaced again and again. India is harassed, or India is put into this crime that Indian society has been torturing, has been showing, uh, has been responsible for putting or keeping a majority of mass, that is a sizable population of India, into an endless torture, or into a very into the darkness of slavery in the name of religion, in the name of caste. So that is a kind of cause for which Gandhi considers, this is as in this novel, it has been mentioned that casteism is it is one of the greatest drawbacks of Indian society. It is a blot on Hinduism. It presents long perceived feelings of protest against Indian caste system, which I have already discussed. Bakha is depicted as a strong, hardworking, depicted towards his work, dedicated towards his work. He is a dedicated man, as in Arundhati Raj, God of small thing, like Velutha. Here Bakha is depicted as a hardworking boy, an honest boy, dedicated towards his work. In spite of the fact that he was sincere, he was a dedicated worker, still he faced this caste tyranny because of his low caste identity. Shows pain and agony of untouchables. This novel shows the pain and agony for which, in the post-independent India, we regard this untouchable as one of the great texts which shows the path of reformation in India. Feeling of untouchability deeply rooted in Indian society. We have already discussed. The root lies not only religion, uh, but in the minds, in the psychology of the high caste people, which gradually it is getting changed because of this, the new constitution, and new um rules rules of law uh, that have been prescribed in favor of these communities, to make them to come to the to make them able, educated, and to come to the mainstream. So uh, feeling of untouchability is deeply rooted in Indian society. All the people in the upper caste are not bad, as we have seen in some characters. They are also kind-hearted. Uh, uh, so The novel concludes with a note of faith and idealism. So novel concludes with an idealism. What is the idealism? That it is stated that it is here is a passage which shows that can be free from stigma. Dalits can be free from Dalits or untouchables can be free from stigma of untouchability and assume the dignity of status that is their right as useful members of casteless and classless society. India is a caste-based society. In as far as India is concerned, we make responsible that caste is responsible for our downfall. But in the Europe, that is very often class is considered. Class is their problem, whereas in India, caste is our problem. So there is a difference between class and caste. Class means this is an economic term. If somebody belongs to a poor class, that is because of his poverty, he is poor, and because of his hard work, he can go to the higher ladder of society. He can become rich. He can improve his condition. He can get rid of this cause of poverty. But in India, actually, the problem is that once somebody is born as a low caste, he cannot change his caste. So that is the problem, and for this, actually, misinterpretation of religion is responsible, which Gandhi considered. This is not good, and Gandhi, throughout his life, he also struggled a lot to change this attitude of the high caste people, and also he did in a significant way. He also tried to work for these people, and Gandhi made a condition in his life that whoever would invite him to a marriage party, it must be an intercaste marriage. I do not know whether you know it or not. This is one of the great message that he wanted to give to society, that he would attend a marriage party, a marriage ceremony with one condition only: this marriage should be an intercaste marriage or interfaith marriage. Otherwise, he would not attend any marriage party. So anyway, the novel ends with a note of idealism of a classless society, casteless society, and uh, which is also the aim of Marx, Lenin, and many other great people in the world. That everybody, all the great people in the world, they wanted to see a classless society, a united society, a society free from exploitation, torture, slavery, and all that. And for this, actually, many communist countries who practiced Marxism, Leninism, actually, they they try to uh, improve their society, but failed in many ways because of this use of violence, use of force. Whereas Indian society is still stable because of this practice of Gandhism. Gandhi's ideals influenced many people, in spite of the fact that we have problems, we have caste problems, but we have not gone to the extent to such a violent revolution, which could be like your European revolutions or Russian revolutions, which could end in bloodshed. Actually, that thing has not happened, thanks to Gandhi's ideal, Gandhi's philosophy, for which the people of this country, they remained non-violent, in spite of the fact that there are problems, and the problem is immediately addressed. Okay, so with this sense, I hope I have discussed some of the major issues which is there in this novel. And if time is there, let me read some of the important passages. Very few passages which is there in your IGNO material. Let me read some of the passages so that you can get uh, the viewpoint of Mulkraj Anand. How does he portray? How does he present Bakha in a very uh, uh, caste-ridden, tyrannic caste-ridden society? So how he is facing? Let me uh, read this some of the passages. When Bakha actually, Bakha is moving on the street to attend his duty, uh, duty of, as a sweeper in his community, and unconsciously, by mistakenly, actually, he is touching a high caste individual. And uh, how does that high caste individual is reacting? Okay, why don't you call? I quote page number 51. Uh, I quote, why don't you call, you swine, and announce your approach? Do you know you have tossed me and defiled me? Cock-eyed son of a bow-legged scorpion. Now I will have to go and take a bath to purify myself. And it was a new dhoti and shirt I put on this morning. So you see how a reaction, a scornful reaction is coming from the mouth of a high caste man when by mistakenly, unconsciously, this Dalit boy touched this man on the way. And there was a tradition, actually it is also mentioned in many places that foreigners when came to India, they have recorded it. That is why India was defaced. India actually was defamed. That whenever Dalits actually they would come to the streets, they have to bear a kind of drum. They have to give a sign that Dalits are coming. Better you high caste people, you clear, you do not come or you take your side so that they cannot touch you. And also, there was a system in the ancient, particularly in pre-independent India, medieval India, that Dalits were, whenever they were coming out to the street, particularly the mud street, cement street, or this modern streets were not there. So they were actually they were holding a broom and cleaning on the way so that their signs of their feet, which was printed on the sand, it could not be there. It could be rubbed out. Okay, it could be cleaned so that the high caste people should not touch the signs of their or the prints of their feet that was printed on the sand or on the dust. So this was the condition of medieval India, and we are now in 21st century. We have uh, we have our we have already changed our attitude, and we are in a new society. Of course, when we read this novel, so at least a consciousness is created in the minds of the reader that this injustice, the social injustice which has taken place in the name of caste, should be abolished as soon as possible. Again, actually, this high caste individual is saying that is son of the beach, offspring of a pig, and shouted, his temper spluttering on his tongue and obstructing his speech and the sense behind it in its mad rush outwards. And I quote what he says, I will have to go and get washed. I, I was going to business and now on account of you, I will be late. So this is how reaction is coming from the mouth of a high caste person, high caste priest. At the same time, this priest also is going to Bakha house and trying to rape his beautiful sister Sain. And he was caught by Bakha, and he was caught red-handed, and um, Bakha thought to give him a lesson, but he restrained himself because of his caste. He said that I should not beat a Brahmin. So this is how we see a caste torture, a caste tyranny, the caste plight of India as it is depicted through Bakha, and how we see our memory become overloaded with sigh and with a sense of guilt and sigh that how we belong to this country, the society where still some people practice casteism and some people create problems in the name of caste, and they Delhi they divide this country, and create a problem for the government and society, and they bring not only humiliation for themselves but to this country. As a result, we cannot show our face in the foreign country that we belong to a civilized nation. We belong to a, a nation where there are great scriptures like Vedas, Upanishads, where the practice of inequality was there in ancient India by the rishis, by the great writers, by the great men and women of this country. But unfortunately, in medieval country, in the medieval society, this country became overloaded with this sin of putting a, a sizable mass, a great number of mass, or some percentage of people in this India in torture, in pain, in suffering. And I hope uh, I have tried to explain some of the basic issues in the novel, and better you should uh, read your IGNO material, which is beautifully presented, the whole issue, and there are some chapters. I hope you will read it, and you will get the message of the author, the language, the construction, and the whole beauty of this text as a great text of post-independent India. And today also we consider that this is one of the great novels of Indian English fiction, which is based on this Dalit problem, which aimed to reform the society and to bring about a consciousness in the minds of the readers. So with this note, uh, let me conclude. If you have any questions, you please ask me.
Sir, sir, excuse me, sir. How would you
Yes,
define
yes, go ahead.
idealism, sir? How
Idealism
would
actually,
we
I
define
think
idealism, sir?
idealism is, it goes back to Plato. I think in MEG-5 I was discussing this morning. It goes back to Plato, who is which is the theorist who believed in idealism, who also prescribed some of the rules of idealism, and from Plato we get this idealism. Idealism means that is a world of ideal from which we people, artists, and also we people, we derive the ideas from there, and thereby we imitate, and accordingly we perceive some ideas, and accordingly we interpret society, people, life, everything we derive. Okay, it is very often derived. It is not created, it is derived. Okay. Have you got your point? And here actually all virtues, let me again enhance this point. Uh, Again, let me focus this point that all virtuous quality or good qualities, all the saint-like qualities, or the the good qualities that come from the world of ideas. Okay, who believes in idealism, he accepts suffering but never hurt other people. So this is as Shankaracharya puts in his own words, paropakaraya dharma, paropakaraya swargaya papaya parapidanam. This is the high sense of, this is the hallmark of idealism. Am I clear? Have you got your point? Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, okay. Any question to me? Hello? Any question to me? Otherwise, we will conclude. Please come forward and ask me.
Sir, book to ne asbar kenta padmu.
Okay, let me tell you that your book in short form is available on IGNO site. Better
Sir.
you open IGNO Bhubaneswar site or IGNO Delhi site. You click on your e-Gyanakosha, and there you will get your soft material. Soft material means the book that actually you are supposed to get in hard form. The soft copy is available there. You can get it downloaded and you can read.
Thank you, sir.
Right. Okay. Dear learners, uh, we have completed this module, this block, that is untouchable. Next class, if actually I do not know whether our senior teacher, Professor Aditya Meher, who has been assigned this MEG-7, I do not know whether actually he has some problems. If he takes, it is better. If he doesn't take, I will try to cover some of the rest blocks um, that you in future or in subsequent classes I will be engaged with you if he doesn't come or if he doesn't take. So with this note, thank you once again for your cooperation, for your patience. Actually, this virtual classroom is not the right platform where you can hear to your resource person in a right way. Some of you might not be able to access or could be you could be joined easily, but still some of you have joined and you have taken pain, arranged your devices and you have also spent your data to join with us. So from IGNO side, from our um, learning center, learners support center side, I convey my heartfelt thanks to all of you for your cooperation, and I hope that this few classes which we are going to take will be sufficient to give you a guidance. Okay, in a brief way, we are just as counselors, we are guiding you. Uh, if you come to the physical mode class, it could be better. Still, I hope we can manage. So, with this note, thank you once again. Let us conclude.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Many, many thanks to you.
Thank you, sir.